A big development late this afternoon in healthcare. Senator Jeff Bingaman of New Mexico, who was on the Senate Finance Committee and a member of the Gang of Six, now declares he'll support reconciliation in the Senate to get healthcare reform. This is a big development. Things are shifting during this August break. Now, score at home here. Of the 3 Democrats, 2 are now embracing a public option, and 1 is willing to go reconciliation. For more, let me bring in Joan Walsh, editor-in-chief, Salon.com. Joan, I think this is a big development because it seems so much is now hinging on what the Senate Finance Committee does, this Gang of Six. You got a couple of Democrats that are okay with public option, at least that's what Max Baucus said the other day.
Right.
You got Jeff Bingaman there, and now Bingaman's saying, okay, if we got to go reconciliation, I'm on that bandwagon. You know, this kind of makes Kent Conrad the fly in the ointment in this whole deal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all eyes are on Kent Conrad right now, and I don't know what to expect there. He's really been a staunch defender of this nonprofit co-op idea, which I think all of us know probably won't work and also won't get Republican support. So it's a tough position for him to be in, and I think we're seeing President Obama's strategy maybe begin to work. I know you and I have both been critical of him for not laying out what he wants and defending it and saying, I'm for the public option, get with me. But, you know, I would be happy to be wrong about that if this effort to let the Gang of Six work its way through this produces the public option. We'll see.
But what's your read on one of the Gang of Six, which is tasked with the mission of coming up with a bipartisan agreement? One of the Gang of Six is now saying, well, you know, if we got to go reconciliation in the Senate, I'm okay with that if we got to get reform done.
Well, I think that, you know, the tide has turned a little bit. We still have crazy people at town halls talking about guns. However, I think that they are starting to hear from a more liberal constituency and a more budget-minded constituency, actually, that's saying the public option makes sense because it brings down costs. I think they were caught flat-footed with the mobilizing around the town halls, frankly, Ed, and I think that was sort of, I mean, it was predictable. We knew that the industry was going to fight back. But now we're seeing a little bit more organizing on the left, and it's paying off.
Do you think that the base is going to dwindle away from the president if down the stretch he doesn't push hard and get a public option to compete against the private sector?
Yes.
Will it really weed off his base? What do you think?
I really think it will. I really think a majority of those people who voted for him last year, and certainly the people who raised money, knocked on doors, really thought that he was about fundamental change. And this is fundamental health care change. Nothing else will deliver it. So I think it's very risky for him, and I think they're starting to recognize that, which I'm very happy about.
I was interested in see how Maxine Waters held her town hall meeting. She told the crowd, and as speaking to the president, we've got your back. Right. Not only are the progressive Democrats saying, Mr. President, we want you to do this, we got to have A, B, and C in this, but they're saying we've got your back. What's the interpretation to those who oppose a public option?
You know, I think that they might have a tiny bit of fear that they didn't have before, that people who support it are getting organized and are sort of starting to do good organizing and smart politics around it. And the president, you know, it can cut both ways. We've either got your back or we don't if you sell us out. And so, you know, I don't know if anybody in the industry is quaking in their boots yet, Ed, but I think that there is reason to believe that the base has found its voice, has found a way of transmitting its unhappiness, and I think we're going to have a better outcome as a result of that.
Do you think Joan, do you think the president's going to make a big play between Labor Day and the 15th of September? A speech to the nation, an Oval Office speech, or something that is deemed to be a very special message to the American people to close the deal?
I think he's going to have to. I really do, because I think this is just going to lay out there with more misinformation. I do think in the end, Ed, he's got to say what he supports. He's got to fight for it. If he loses, God forbid, he learns something, we all learn something, and we move on. But to say I'm going to ultimately wishy-washy out and say I'm going to, you know, just sign whatever they give me because some kind of reform is better than nothing, I think is a terrible message. I don't expect him to do that. I really don't. But you know me, I'm an optimist.
Joan Walsh, Salon.com. Thanks for your time tonight, Joan.
Thank you, Ed.
You bet.